GEPRC took one of my favourite Cinewhoops and made it bigger, more powerful, and 4S. This is the new DarkStar25, but going bigger also means more weight, and after flying it, I'm not convinced bigger automatically means better. So, does the DarkStar25 actually improve on its smaller brother? And if you're choosing between the DarkStar22 and 25, which one should you actually buy? Let's take a closer look at the design before I share my flying experience. And for full transparency, yes, GEPRC did send me this drone, however, they have not paid me for this review. All thoughts and opinions are my own. Now, GEPRC have listened to the feedback from the DarkStar22, where in some instances during a crash, the canopy would rip off. So this time, GEPRC have added 2 side retaining screws on either side to secure the canopy while still keeping the 5-point dampening system. This was probably the biggest complaint. Now the XT30 is now located underneath the chassis of the drone, making the included battery tray useful for protecting the battery lead. You also have the option to add a nano GPS from factory. This also uses the same HQ props as the Cinewhoop 25 V2, and I really like this because that way we get to share components and parts between drones. I honestly think this looks great. I really do like the look of this drone, and it's different compared to the others on the market. Both the white and black options are great for the canopy colors. I wanted to be different and go for the black because with those red LEDs it reminds me of Darth Vader. But the white does look like a stormtrooper. Otherwise it's the same concept as the DarkStar22 except bigger and now 4S. So how does it fly? So this is the DarkStar25. We're just going to go straight ahead. There you go. Heading is now sorted because we have the GPS. It needed to figure out its heading because we do not have a compass in this GPS, which I think is more of a benefit. I am flying stock rates at the moment. So these are GEPRC's stock rates. We're just going to do a loop around the field at the moment just to get a feel for it. It is actually really nice and smooth. Let's do a roll over the bush. So there we go. So GEPRC's rates are actually quite slow, but does that mean, oh, you can still do a power loop. Can you do split S? Not bad. There is a bit of prop wash, but that's if you land in your own wake. So this drone flies pretty good. If you want to slow down a bit, so let's say we want to do some slow moving stuff and we're doing indoors, is it controllable? Yes, it is. That also depends on your camera angle. It's nice and smooth. So for someone who's been used to flying their own rates, I have purposely chosen to fly the stock rates so I can tell you what it's like, because maybe you're someone new and you're getting into FPV. You won't know a clue what I'm talking about when I say rates. And these rates are suitable for someone new, so which is great. So I can tell you as well about the OSD. This is my OSD setup. This is not something that is done by GEPRC. So if you want to have more telemetry information, then you need to customize it. So the ones they come shipped, they're okay, but personally I like to keep mine standardized across drones. Because I do have GPS, the benefit as well is I actually reflash the firmware to be able to have altitude and position hold. And I'm going to show you an example of that now.
Position lock engaged.
So the drone will now stay stable. We're actually in the field. Drone's doing a decent job. Look, no hands. And it's positioned. So maybe I've got an itch or a fly I want to get rid of. That's what position and altitude hold is beneficial for. So I'm going to just re-enable that. We'll go around the tree and then I'll show you an example of GPS rescue. So let's say I'm flying along and all of a sudden I lose connection for whatever reason and you want to save your drone.
Engaging GPS rescue because you lost control again.
No hands. Drone is obviously preset already. For some reason mine wasn't set, and I do know in the past GEPRC do set these, but maybe mine was a review unit. As you can see, it's making its way back, which is great. I'm going to re-enable that. So if you haven't, if you make sure you check that GPS rescue does work when you get your drone. Hopefully they have done it. If not, Joshua Bardwell does have good tutorials on how to set this, or you can leave a comment down below, because I've learned from Joshua Bardwell and I've set mine up as well. I'm going to land and I'm going to put my rates now as well, so we can see how this flies with something a little bit more flowy. Come into the garden. I'm going to do a land. Not the most graceful landing.
Thrusters ready, sir. Thrusters engaged.
And we are going to fly through. Oh, heading's already fixed, which is great. See, my rates are a lot faster. I think GEPRC's was around 500 maybe. Mine are around 700. And I've just been accustomed to these with all my drones. I'm starting to migrate over my rates rather than use the stock ones, so I get used to them. That's why I found it so different. However, their stock rates were good. The good thing is you can always add your own on a second profile and switch to them, which is what I've done. You can do that on a switch, or you can do that on a dial. I think we're low battery almost. Okay, no. So I am flying with GEPRC's 720 lithium high voltage. We're going to discuss that in the next section of this video, but this is the battery that I recommend for this drone. Not only does it have enough milliamp hours for capacity, but it also is the lightest from the other ones I've tested, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. Yeah, this drone flies so nice. It is a great drone. It is a windless environment, but on another day that I flew when it was pretty windy, it was fine, it can fly, but with any Cinewhoop that, oh car, look at that, perfect timing to showcase that. Any Cinewhoop that flies in the wind around the 250 gram mark is gonna struggle, and it's just not enjoyable, to be honest. I've flown in the past and it's just not fun. Your battery drains faster. Let's see if we can do some tree stuff. Slow, so you can see it is very controllable even with the rates that I have. No birds are gonna attack me. There we go. Yeah, this is a great flying drone. I always like GEPRC drones because they tune them well, they're built well, you get a lot in the box. But the question is this extra size and extra weight better than its younger brother, the DarkStar22, which I already love? Let's make our way back because battery is around 3.5 and we do not want to damage the batteries. So it's this nice smooth cruiser here. You will have a lot of fun flying this drone. It's very enjoyable. There you go, low battery. Let's come in.
Power levels low, sir.
Nice landing, there we go. Now let's talk about weight and batteries and flight times. Well, I've tested a few batteries that I own with this drone and you can see what I got with the on-screen card. Just note that this is me flying around smoothly and cruising and not doing any reactive movements and freestyle flying, trying to get the maximum flight time as possible. Now, looking at the results, personally, your best battery choice with this drone will be the GEPRC 720 lithium high voltage, as it offers a reasonable flight time and it is much lighter. We'll get to weight in just a moment. Both Tattoo batteries surprised me despite being older, not used as much, but still performed very well. Interestingly, the Boss LiPo 960, which is outside GEPRC's recommendation, gave me an impressive long flight time. However, when I was flying around with this and the buzz power, you can definitely feel the added weight during the turns. And even though these batteries work, you will struggle to secure them with the strap on the larger batteries, as it's quite tight, so you might want to opt for the larger battery strap. I was also not using the battery tray either because it was already a tight fit. So will this drone bother anyone? Well, let's take a listen to see how it sounds. Now the magic question that everyone wants to know is the DarkStar25 sub 250. Well, it's a yes and a no, because it depends on your configuration and the battery type that you're using. For instance, the version I have with the 04 Pro plus the Nano GPS will be the heaviest starting weight, but using the 720 lithium high voltage battery from GEPRC with no battery tray will get you under 250 grams. All other options that I flew with my drone configuration is over the 250 gram limit. Of course, you can save weight by opting for the DJI 04 Wide and not using the battery tray and no GPS. Now, some of you are probably thinking about using this for indoor real estate work and if it's a viable option. Now, I've not had a chance to actually test this drone indoors, but here's something that I can show you. I've flown the Cinewhoop 30 V3 indoors, which is bigger, so the DarkStar25 will have an easier time with its smaller size. And compared to this old school relic, the Cinewhoop 25, I was also using this indoors, which is the same size. Based on size, I don't see any reason it couldn't be used indoors, but I haven't personally tested this one. But normally it's better to opt for a Cinewhoop that is in a pusher configuration for better stability indoors. The DarkStar25 is a puller configuration. And if you want to compare, this is the difference between the DarkStar22 and even the smaller DarkStar16. So from out all of these drones, pick your poison. As per the demo earlier in the video, GPS works great. It's in a much better place compared to the DarkStar22, though I've never experienced many issues after installing my own. It's a nice to have to show speed, altitude and home direction, especially if the drone loses signal. So long as your GPS rescue is set up properly, it's great. But how often are you flying far with this drone? Now here are some things I don't like with the DarkStar25. Now I love the fact that it is USB-C, so we can connect our drone to Betaflight, but for it to be located underneath is annoying and unnecessary because say you're trying to calibrate your accelerometer, then it's pretty impossible unless you put it on a stand of some sort. I wish this was relocated to somewhere more convenient. And this might be specific to my drone, but strangely when I was trying to flash the latest firmware to add position and altitude hold to the drone, it would disconnect when trying to reflash. So I had to manually hold the DFU button to get it to work. Other than that, I can't think of anything that I dislike with this drone, especially as I've not had it long term yet, but in the future I could update you guys. So compared to its little brother, which one is right for you? If you want something that is easily under 250 grams and flies great, then the DarkStar22 is the easier recommendation. 3S is still plenty of power, flight times are similar, and it's slightly cheaper as well as the batteries. However, if you want something a little bigger to handle better in the winds and don't mind it being over 250 grams in some instances, you enjoy the new color options and prefer the added security of the canopy with the retaining screws, then the DarkStar25 is for you. Plus, you can get GPS installed from factory, which the 22 does not offer. That's a DIY job. As a side note, if you do opt for ELRS, it does come with version 3.x pre-installed. So if you're someone running version 4, you need to flash, as I've done, to the following target. If you do decide to pick up the DarkStar25, here's everything that you get inside the box. You get the spare canopy, the battery tray, one set of spare props, documentation plus stickers, a spare battery strap which is slightly larger, the battery anti-slip pads for both the battery tray and the drone, your basic toolkit including the one that helps install the side retaining screws, assortment of screws and spare cables, and a USB-C cable. Now, if you decide to pick up the DarkStar25, I've left an affiliate link in the description box down below. There is no additional cost to you, but it does help support the channel, which I much appreciate. I'd also recommend picking up the 720 lithium high voltage batteries as they well suit this drone, and an extra set of props. Just remember that when you are ordering batteries, you can only order a maximum of 2 per drone, and that's just down to shipping restrictions, unfortunately. Now, if you're trying to decide which camera to buy, I recommend the 04 Pro as this is going to give you the best cinematic results. However, if you want to save some weight, go for the 04 wide. Just remember, you don't get D-Log M and there's no SD card slot. I think you only get about 40 gigabytes internal memory. So is bigger better? Well, not entirely, but GEPRC did make improvements over the DarkStar22. So your feedback in the comment section will be great. And if you want to see an in-depth video on the DarkStar22, click this video here. Otherwise, YouTube recommends this one. Oh, what a landing.